game.
They're like missing flesh in some places.
Okay, thanks for sharing. That's great. What's going on here? Hold on. I added a couple extra pages there. Okay, so what is the quiz going to be like tomorrow? Well, guess what? We're going to be doing triangle congruent stuff. All from the very basic to the full-blown proofs. So first off, you got to make sure you're reading the instructions to understand what the problem wants. It's a little shorter quiz in that there are only like 7 questions instead of the normal 10, but a couple of those questions are proofs, which means those to take longer and are worth more points. That's why we cut down the number of questions. Are the triangles above congruent?
Yeah.
What will you use? Okay, so one of the questions on a simpler one might be, so make a congruent statement. Triangle ABD is congruent to blank, and then reason. So ABD is congruent to triangle, we need a triangle symbol. What will be the corresponding order? CBD. There we go. And what would the reason be? Side, side, side. So it might be simple like that. That may be all they ask you to do. Or they may ask you to do a full-on proof. They may say, given the picture, prove that angle A is congruent to angle C, in which case we're going to have to write it out formally. It's fine. How do we write out formula? We start with our givens. What is given in this picture? Give me one thing that's given. Okay. That's given. What else? Fantastic. What else do we have? How do we get to side, side, side? Yeah. Good. What's the reason? Reflexive. A lot of people say reflective because we think reflection, looks the same. Remember, it's reflexive, kind of like you have reflexes in your knee with an X, not with a T. I mean, probably won't take off points if you're reflective, but just you don't want to say the wrong thing and look like you're dumb in front of some people. Somebody who's smarter, No one likes that. It's like people who say I could care less. No, you couldn't care less. I could care less means you actually could care less, which means you care a little bit about it. You could possibly care less. I couldn't care less means that you really don't care at all. So you having the right phrase is always very interesting. All right. We digress. Do we have enough? Yes, we do. Triangle ABD is congruent to triangle CBD. And we said Y already, side, side, side. But now what would I do? Because I finished that, what's next? What am I trying to prove? Therefore, angle A is congruent to angle C by what reason? 5. C, P, which stands for corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. All right? Say it again. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. One more time just for repetition's sake. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. There we go. This helps to know that. So we could do it informally or formally on the test. Either way. Here's a picture. Prove GK is congruent to HJ. Prove GK is congruent to HJ, given this picture. Okay, again, we start with our givens. I'm going to do this. We'll make this a fill in the blank. Angle N is congruent to angle L. Reason blank. 2. Segment blank is congruent to segment blank. Given. 3. Blank is congruent to blank. Given. 4. Triangle JNH is congruent to triangle KLG. Blank. And then 5, blank, and blank. So it's a fill-in-the-blank proof. Here we go. Angle N is congruent to angle L. What's the reason? Given. Okay. Segment congruent to segment. What two segments are congruent as a given? Okay. Okay, LKKL, doesn't matter. All right, what else is given? Angle what? HGM is congruent to angle MHG. Given. So therefore, the triangles J and H and KLG are congruent by what shortcut? Which one is it? You know what might be easier to figure out? Guys, separate it. Just draw one triangle with the parts marked, okay? JN angle H angle. Which shortcut are we using? Side angle, angle, or actually we always say angle, angle, side, isn't it? It's a lot easier to see when I separate it out, isn't it? And just draw one triangle. Okay, are we done? Obviously now we have blank 5, and what are we going to say? GK. CP, C, T, C. The C is every other letter. Okay? So again, this is a type of proof we see. Sometimes fill in the blank, sometimes do it all on your own. But this is what we can expect tomorrow on the quiz. Not horribly hard. Just stuff to work with. Prove AD is congruent to BC. Again, same basic idea. Now, notice none of these, we could have it shorter. I could say prove triangles are congruent, couldn't I? So we don't always go beyond the angle side angle or the side angle side, but often we will. So we might as well practice going farther than we might need to. We can always stop earlier if we have to. Do this one on our own. What are we started with? We're starting with, I have angle D congruent to angle B. That's a given. That's easy enough. What else do I have given? AB is parallel to BC. Now, generally the rule is this. I use a given until I can get to something, some pair of things being congruent. So if I have like M as the midpoint of XY, I'm going to keep working with that until I get something congruent as a result of that statement. Here I have that lines are parallel. They are not congruent. Do not mix up parallel and congruent. They are different meanings. I'll stop that. Silly thing. All right. So what can I get from parallel lines? Okay, AC congruent to AC would be reflexive, and that we will get there, but that does not follow from parallel lines. Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
You said BAC is congruent angle.
Oh, you didn't say angle. I was confused. Angle BAC is congruent to DCA. Reason? Because we got our Z, alternate interior angles theorem. No, just go home and don't come back. That's my solution. Just go home, never, ever, ever come back. That's my advice. All right. So I've got that. All right. So now I've got some congruent parts. So now I go back to my givens or my picture. What else do I have for my picture? My shared side. By the way, I should mark my congruent angles in there. Just 2 marks because you already had a set of congruent angles. The shared side is AC is congruent to itself, and that is reflexive. So do I have enough for congruent triangles now? I should. I have 3 congruent pairs, 2 angles and a side. This is going to be angle, angle, side, or angle, side, angle. Which one? Angle, angle, side. Let's name the congruent triangles. Triangle DCA would be congruent to triangle, now corresponding order, BCA or BAC? BAC. So step 6 now, we've got the congruent triangles. We're going to use CPCTC again. And what's my reason going to be? What's my statement going to be? AD has to be congruent to BC. We're all done. I really think most of you can probably handle that proof at this point, which is good. That's good stuff. I'm glad that you're able to do that. Because really that's what most of the test is going to be about, that and easier stuff. The review packet's kind of long, and I want to get that out because I want to get you started on that right away, so that we can talk about it a little bit. We'll go over a couple things, what's expected on it. We'll put away our electronic devices because we don't want them taken away from us, which they will be if I see them out. Well, first time.
Lunch. And then we go home. Monday too, we go home and come back to lunch.
It's getting old. You thought you were being clever, but you're not.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at this real quick, just so people understand what's going on here. And again, this really comes down to reading the instructions when they aren't cut off by the copy machine. Write the statement that indicates, so basically for 1, 2, 3, and 4, all you're doing is completing the congruent statement. You don't have to do any proof. All you got to do is complete the statement in corresponding order. Now, use the marks to help you. In the first one, angle F in the top triangle of triangle FGH, F corresponds to angle what in the lower triangle? G, because they're both one arc angles. Okay, so it'd be GFR for that first one. For 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, okay, notice it's got choices here. You circle, are they congruent, yes or no? If you circle no, that problem is done, because they aren't congruent. If you circle yes, name the congruent in corresponding order, and then say which shortcut you're using. Shortcut being side angle, side angle, side angle, whatever it is that you're doing. Then the last two are on a page by themselves are proofs. And proof number 1, notice the word bisect in there, so we're going to use definition of bisector, aren't we? Number 2, the word midpoint is in there. We're probably going to use definition of midpoint to make a conclusion. We also have some parallel lines. That's got lots of second steps to work with. So take a look at it. Now, the nice thing about being on a worksheet or on a test tour is you don't have to redraw the picture yourself, right? You can mark on the picture that's there. But I want you to be working on these. So the next, how much time we got left here?
We got like 8.
22. We got like 7-8 minutes. Let's use that 7-8 minutes to work on this, and I will walk around the room and answer questions as we go. Okay? I guess. Stop that. Oh, I got a pen art. That's the problem. Hold on. Yes. Good study skill as long as you're actually working.